sucks. I'd be lying if I didn't say I was extremely disappointed that the elf's not coming over. I really think this episode was like a massive tease. Like it opened up with like, yes, elf girl's here, and then when they finally started getting into, oh, this is what led up to it, I'm like, God damn it. I was so let down. They end up turning it into something really funny, though. I really did like, yes, the VTuber thing. But yeah, episode 3 of Uncle from Another World is still hitting so good. I had so many laugh out loud moments in this episode. A little bit of relatability, not as much of the Sega stuff, nostalgia that I got from the last episode, but just, I guess, the really absurdity of the uncle. And yes, some Attack on Titan references, which was kind of funny as well. Now, it was great because this episode opens up with, unfortunately, something that a lot of people experience at some point with YouTube. When Takafumi translates this email from YouTube, which, yes, talks about this whole changes to the YouTube kind of system to demonetize channels that are not of a certain caliber. You have to have certain subscribers and watch hours, which is something that I had to establish when I first started doing YouTube again, full time, as I had to establish that threshold. So it was a little bit upsetting to kind of, I got a little bit of like, yeah, I know how you feel. Yeah, that whole thing sucked. But I think it's one of those things where once you get past that bracket, it gets better. But it was funny to learn why they're doing such a terrible job of getting subscribers, despite the fact they're getting a lot of views. And that's because Uncle is arguing with everybody in the comments, which is never good, which is, I don't know, it was a little bit odd that in the end, in order to get the subscribers they needed, all he had to do was go out there and just ask, and everybody started subscribing like, oh, well, since you asked, let me... It's like completely counter to what Takafumi and me personally believes is this idea of like, well, if you ask, I'm not going to do it, just to spite you. Yeah, that's when we get the Attack on Titan part, which I thought was really, that was dorky. Not really the Attack on Titan. Like, the Attack on Titan part is like, whenever a show does the Attack on Titan, they get a grim reminder moment with the big, huge wall and somebody overlooking it. And I mean, they went all out by actually literally just having characters saying it's Titans. And they all look like Titans. That part never really, like, I usually get like a, Attack on Titan reference. Like, I don't get a laugh out of it. I'm curious if anybody does, like, whenever you see this, which is done to death at this point because obviously Attack on Titan was really popular when it came out. And so it felt like every comedy had to do the Attack on Titan moment. It never gets me. But no, what really got me was this build-up. Like, Uncle's like, oh, this barrier blocks them? Boom, blows it up. Huh, that's crazy. There's a lot of things coming. Probably can't handle them all. Probably gonna be a lot of casualties. And then the elf girl's like, all right, let's do this. She gets all crazy, like, oh no, just makes all these comments about him being an orc, but he's always himself, and then pulls out this big old sword, activates this big, huge blade, gets ready, builds up all these cool little columns of magic circles that goes towards the enemies to increase her velocity, and then she rushes out there, and then, boom, right into the freaking barrier that he makes. It was so great. Like, I texted my brother because I'm like, well, I texted him because I think he's going to be super mad about the reveal of who the elf girl is in the modern times, but I think this is the part that he hates the most because every time the uncle does something really mean to the elf, he gets mad. He texts me or he says something from his room. It's every single episode. I'm like, you're never going to go a single episode without being mad at this show, but that was hilarious. Her just splatting on the wall. It's just that chemistry makes the two of them. Like, they're just so terrible to each other, but she's super tsundere, so she's always going to follow him, which made me believe that she was going to follow to the real world. Which, yes, following this whole story, we did get the reveal that the reason why there's an elf girl in the modern times is not because it's her. It's the uncle trying to... He felt because Fujimiya would not listen to him, he wasn't good enough. So he leaves the room, turns into the elf girl, and then comes back in. Fujimiya at this point still doesn't believe that he's magical, still doesn't believe in his power. So despite Takafumi coming in and immediately saying things about Sega that only the uncle would, not that the uncle would answer, but that the uncle couldn't refuse answering. So to make comments about, Sonic and Tails and completely making him mad, that immediately confirms. But this is where it gets funny. Like, I totally was angry at this, but then the moment Takafumi's like, let's go record something, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're doing it. Like, they're gonna do it. Well, he turns it into it's a virtual YouTuber. But yeah, it's essentially a virtual YouTuber because he's creating an avatar based on somebody else. But yeah, cashing in on that one, which yes, obviously like everybody was expecting, turns out to be a gold mine. Especially since all he's wearing is a sweatshirt. I don't know if anybody caught this, but if you look at the translations of the comments, one of them specific. Well, they're all saying like, "You're cute. This is great," and then one of them specifically says, "No need for the console. You can get rid of the console." And yes, it could be in reference to the idea that you don't need to play games, but no, that console was right there in the perfect spot. They did not want that there. Yeah, that was great. Which totally plays into the uncle's insecurities about gaming culture, because he thinks it's all about these great games. Let's play games together. Oh, Guardian Heroes? Yes, let's play Guardian Heroes. He's all excited. He's like playing this game like seriously and talking about this secret weapon and everything. And then to realize that, oh yeah, remember when you first came back and you looked at that magazine and you realized that the best game out there wasn't Guardian Heroes? It was a Bajojo game. It was a dating sim game. Yeah, that's gaming now, dude. And yes, simping for Elf Girl is a thing. So sorry, Uncle. Like, it just completely devastated him. Which I'm still wondering if he's ever going to figure out this Dreamcast came out. I'm still waiting for him to realize if the Dreamcast came. Maybe it's a joke later on. But yeah, Takafumi. They want to see a hot VTuber, not an old man. Yeah, pretty much. Unfortunately, I wish I could turn into a hot elf girl. Probably get some major views, but no, this turns into probably the most hilarious moment, I think, of this episode. Yes. Yeah, unfortunately, Uncle discovering that Fujimiya and Takafumi is never going to be a thing. By tapping into Takafumi's memories, seeing Fujimiya from the past. Yeah, like Takafumi knew who it was. Like, she's like, who's this boy in the video? This nerd, this ugly looking kid that's just punching Takafumi. Who is this guy? Takafumi like, yeah, that's you, Fujimiya. She had like these terrible like off base memories of them being a great cute little childhood friend couple, but no, she was always this jerk tomboy punching the crap out of him. And yeah, lost cause there, lost cause. That was just absolutely terrible. And when she realized, she's like, stop, this is not me. Oh, it was great. Great episode overall. Really enjoyed this episode. So hope you guys enjoy this video. As always, make sure to hit that like button down below if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already so you get all my content. Leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of this episode. Do you enjoy it? I think this is one of those ones where I'm still holding hope that the elf girl's going to come back. I still hold hope that the elf girl will transport. But I don't know. This kind of killed it. This kind of killed that expectations. All the key art and stuff that was showing the elf girl, I think it pretty much killed at this point. So that's unfortunate, but I'll hold a little bit of hope. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and y'all take care.